like bowling at pint, gold stripes, don't cut her. Attracted to the mind, but I like mine's hooder. She gotta have a pretty face too, no butter. I wonder how she age. Look at her mother. My favorite color's green, but I'll settle for blue. Check until I can't see, I'm only 5'2". Who the fuck made this shit on that track? Meaning if I'm on it, yes, this shit slap.
Hey, hello, welcome. We are here. I'm Mrs. Best. We have Watch Your Mouth Reviews here. That's his channel name. Check it out in the description, aka James. We're going to go over Basketball Wives LA season 11, episode 9. That feels like we're on episode 92. Right. Let's just jump right into it, you guys. I'm not feeling the hottest. My throat is in and out. So I'm going to just jump right into it. Be sure to like the video, comment your opinions, subscribe to both of our channels. We would greatly appreciate it, and happy holidays. So we see Evelyn and Jackie meet up, and they talk about Clayanna. I'm going to paraphrase because there's just a lot of nothing scenes I felt in this episode. But they discuss Clayanna, and basically Evelyn says she thinks Clayanna needs an exorcism. Listen, she might be right. I don't know who watches the show Evil. Shout out to Paramount Plus. Me and my husband love that show. You might need to call Kristen Bouchard over. She's a psychologist, but she also helps with exorcism. So I'm just saying, maybe it is a necessity because I think that's the best way to say that. However, Evelyn, you were flying through the air with a wig. So
thank you. I was just going to say that because it was like, how many years have we seen Evelyn jump up on tables, flying at people, throwing drinks in people's faces, throwing glasses at people, throwing wine bottles at people over the years? I'm not going to play with Evelyn. Because if she need an exorcism, you need to be tied to her like that one movie that just came out this year, The Exorcism of them Two Girls. You need to be tied down with her if that's the case, because you're no better than she is.
It was a mess. So we did see, what the hell's her name? Vanessa. I was going to say girl with bangs. That's not nice. We did see Vanessa come in, and we basically learned from this because, they had a conversation, Evelyn and Vanessa. Now, Vanessa is sweet and everything, but first you didn't like Evelyn because you said she was a homewrecker. Then y'all got cool. Then you start telling her business and she was upset about that. Now suddenly she's a person you felt safe to break down in front of, and Evelyn has all this unknown empathy. So I don't trust their friendship, but we find out that Vanessa was married before for about 5 years, she stated, and she has 2 children from that marriage. And then Isaiah also has 2 kids, and then they had their 2 kids together. So that explains to me, the only reason I'm talking about this, it explains why that lady is always, oh, I can't go. I'm going to go to my gym. Oh, something happened with the kids. I'm like, there's so many of them. I did not know. So that explains a lot. Basically, she spoke about her 13-year-old son wanting to live with his dad, which is usually normal for kids when they become teens. They want to be with either or parent. So I didn't see too much of an issue with that. But we do hear, the only reason I'm talking about this scene is because Evelyn lets everyone know that there will be a domestic violence event that she's going to have. She apparently has a foundation, the Evelyn Lozada Foundation, and it is meant to bring awareness to domestic violence. I don't know what she's doing to help people who've struggled with it, but from what I got, she's bringing awareness, which is also a form of help. So we will see what happens with that.
I was just going to say that I'm just like, I love the message. I just think it's the wrong messenger. Not to dismiss what she has went through, because she has a permanent dash on her forehead from a domestic violence, regardless if she caused it or not. That did not give that man the right to physically harm her. So I'm not going to dismiss what she's saying. However, her treatment of other people really hinders me to feel like she's the right person to speak on it, regardless if she went through it or not. Her treatment of other people is just not the best representation that I would like to see. But I am happy that even throughout my opinion of her, she still is doing something. So I have to give her credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing. That's pretty much all anyone can say. I keep seeing that online. Like, it's kind of funny that Evelyn is doing this, but a lot of the most aggressive women are women who have dealt with some form of abuse from a man. So,
True.
but at her big age and with her income and accolades, honey, you can afford a therapist and the best of the best. Please seek one. Cut, but let's not, like Dave said, take away from it. So Vanessa, the last little note of this scene is Vanessa makes the comment to the confessional. She's like, she comes and talks to me about my marriage and pain, and then is having a domestic violence event. I'm concerned Evelyn got the wrong idea about my marriage. And I'm like, well, that's what happens when you talk about your marriage. You haven't painted your husband to be a good guy at all your entire tenure on this show. James is agreeing. I'm like, as long as
Because here's the thing, that's where she lost me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I agreed with her up until she said that. It was like, because mind you, that's where my speech comes from. I don't think looking at her that I would make her the face of her own foundation. But at the same time, Vanessa, you said out your mouth when you joined this show that you have cameras all over your home because from the start to the present, your husband has cheated. That is a form of manipulation, which is a form of an abuse when you decide to have legal binding paperwork with the person versus walking away. You continue to endure it, regardless if you put yourself in it or not. You continue to endure it. That is emotional abuse because he is not loyal to you. This is not just about somebody whooping their spouse's asses. It's also about mental, emotional, physical, financial abuse because there's a such thing. So yes.
I just want for Shawnee, listen, not everybody's a bitter ex-wife who feels they gotta prove something to their man. Like, I just want to say, no, for real. Because have you noticed on this show, we get not basketball wives, like from the beginning, we get a lot of basketball divorcees, well, maybe one or two of them, and then a bunch of exes and baby mamas, which is not the equivalent. I'm not saying that people who are not married are less worthy, but until y'all like have actually done the wedding thing and understand the marriage, like I'm just saying, don't compare me to no baby mama, girlfriend, or any of that. No. But I will say the women who are on the show and married are like Vanessa, like not the happiest, or like headed toward, something just not positive. And I think it speaks to the producer of the show. Like, I don't think Shawnee realizes when she's doing that. Not all Black men cheat. There are plenty of Black men who are famous who have not cheated. There are plenty of Black men who are famous without scandal who aren't getting married every year. There are plenty of just men in general of all colors in the leagues, because, there's a bunch of them that are, good to their wives. So why can't she find one of them? Like, I just feel like she's seeking out like the worst of the worst with them. But that's just my little side note. Moving on. James is like,
because I agree with you at the same time. But then also, I don't like to take away from the fact because I'm like one of the anomalies when it comes to basketball wives because I felt like, yeah, there should definitely be a wife on there. But I don't mind the ex-wives or ex-fiancés because they did have to endure the same things the wife has to do. It's just that the wife can make the legal decision of whether or not his ass that lives or dies. That's the only difference. So that's what I'm telling people when I watch this show. I watch it for the gratification that we're talking about women who have links to
she
these
could have called
men.
it women of the league or
No, I feel like I get why they went with the concept basketball wives because at the end of the day, that's just the concept that came with the show. And remember, concept is not matter of fact; it's actually it could be variety. So that's why they went with that as the concept. But To each his own. It don't matter to me one way or the other because I
Hey,
felt like, you know
it's
what?
something to recap.
Yes, my point exactly.
All right. Do me a favor if you are watching, like the video. If you like what we're saying, if you don't like what we're saying, comment your opinion so we can hear your differences. I like hearing those things. The next thing we see is Jacelle. She goes to call her son and all that from Mississippi, talks to her mom. It's nice that you want to give your mom, you know, accolades and stuff, but I didn't really care to see it. Y'all kind of showing all this a little too late. And, I don't have an issue with Jacelle. So good for her son. He plays basketball, and good for her for working hard. I feel like she's done a lot of positive on the show thus far, for the most part. Moving it along, we then see Evelyn and Brittany, Bad Wig Renner, to meet up. And I'm tired of Brittany's wigs, and we're gonna see at the end of this live. Listen. I don't have the words in English, and I know many of you don't understand some other. I don't have words for her wigs, but Brittany says that she's keeping her distance from the group, which she's been doing with the whole issues with Clayanna, because Brittany is cool with Clayanna. It's interesting though, because Brittany now says she has nothing to say and she's keeping the distance. But if you feel the need to keep a distance and you explain to Jacelle why you're keeping the distance, then you do have something to say. You're just choosing not to say it. And I'm like, Brittany, you looking a little scary, darling. And the reason I say that is because it seems like this girl is genuinely impacted by negative interactions with other people. I think seeing Clayanna get that wig snatched reminded her that her wig could have also been snatched when she had an issue. And now she's probably thinking of that at every moment. And yeah, these are older women and she's younger, but these aren't like the older women that were older when me and James was like younger, and seemed like everybody over 40 needed a fucking cane or had a limp. Like, this is a different generation. Humans are living a tad longer. These old women will whoop your ass, in the words of Dr. Heavenly. So I feel like Brittany is a little scary. That's genuinely how I feel. What do you think about her need to be silent and all of that?
You know what? Honestly, at first, I didn't think it was her being scary. I just thought it was her being more observant and careful with whose toes she stepped on.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I thought about it again, I'm like, no, she's not that smart. So it is exactly her not wanting the confrontation because she doesn't feel like she can beat the two women, or the many women, I should say, of this cast, except for, perplexity over there. Paris Hilton, the black Paris Hilton over there.
Lord help us. So I think I agree with that also. Brittany is, I don't know, she's everywhere. But we do see Evelyn explain that she was hurt that Brittany did not come to breakfast. Would y'all stop? Y'all use the word hurt and saddened and impacted in like the lightest of ways.
Yeah, like as if someone like totaled your car intentionally, or like someone, like stole all your money out your bank account, or someone like it's like
he froze.
Did I?
All right, you guys, it looks like he froze, so I'm gonna keep it moving. There are some weather issues and all types of things. I think he took himself off camera. Did you want to finish your statement?
Am I back?
You are back. Hey.
Okay. I didn't seem frozen on my side. I still heard you. So
I don't know anymore with StreamYard.
Now StreamYard be tripping. I'm so glad I got my recap over with because I couldn't have afforded for this.
The song review last night, StreamYard quit in the middle of playing someone's song and kicked me out. At the beginning of it, it did not play the what is it called? The countdown. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know I was live. And so the first thing everybody saw was me saying, what the? Because I'm like, is it live? Then minutes later, it finally goes live. Then it removed me from the screen. So all you saw was the MIZZES.
Yeah.
But you could hear me, but the audio, it was. So now I'm just announcing this to you guys because my music review people who tune in religiously were like, we're tired of you, StreamYard. Like, because they know they can't really blame me because they say a lot of reviewers use StreamYard. But yeah, I am going to be looking to switch to YouTube once I hit 500 subscribers. even if you don't qualify to monetize, you do qualify to do the co-lives with different creators through YouTube. So I'm just, I can't wait. Anywho, not much happened with their meeting. Brittany goes further into some explanation. She says that she was annoyed with Jennifer, and the reason she was annoyed with Jennifer is because basically she feels like Jen is not a fighter. Jen knows that she's not a fighter. And I think she's forgetting also in her little moment that people know Jen is not a fighter, but we'll get to that in a moment. So Brittany says that because Jen don't fight, she shouldn't be starting shit. But here's the thing. It seems like she's trying to hold everybody else accountable, but she's not holding Clayanna accountable because that's her friend. Because you're upset with Jen for starting shit when she knows she's not a fighter, but a person who knows they can't fight is not going to start shit with the intention to fight you. They're going to start shit with the intention of pissing you off, or they will let you fight them and have their attorney and the police department handle that ass. Now, yes. Either way, just because you're a person that doesn't want to fight doesn't mean you should just back down and shut up. Like, I used to fight a lot, but now I haven't fought in over 10 years. Hallelujah, Jesus, she's saved. But that don't mean that I can't talk my shit if somebody disrespects you. Brittany, you have to remember, Clayanna physically assaulted Jennifer for basically no reason. And then decided to say when she had a problem with the rest of the women, and now she's ready to, get over it with Jennifer, that Jennifer should too. No, you violated this woman. Why are you talking about Jen and what she did when Clayanna is the one you need to be holding accountable? Why aren't you uncomfortable hanging out with her but have an issue with the rest of this group? Tell me something.
It doesn't, y'all. It does not make sense. I don't care how you slice it. It does not make sense.
Yeah. So then she follows that, as Evelyn explains more, and she had no argument. Then she follows that up saying that having a different opinion in this group makes you a target. And she says she doesn't see how she fits in with the group. And my response to that, it's in my note, is, honey, you've been complaining episode after episode. You don't know what to get with this group. You don't know if it's going to go well. You go with them. You don't know if you're going to fight. You don't feel like the safest space is there. Please don't come back next season, if there is a next season. I think we're just at that point. If you don't want to be with this group, but you want to be on this show, that's impossible. And no shade, Brittany Renner, we haven't known of you. You haven't been relevant as long as anybody on this cast. So she has relevancy, though, but because of who she slept with, not for what
and that, to me, is starting to fade away as time goes by. Mm-hmm. Because what a lot of you guys see, this would have been cool if this was the early 2000s. This would have got her so much more celeb status. The fact that she has this baby by this man. But the fact of the matter is, now that social media has played a huge part and being intrusive in everybody's lives, nobody really cares like they used to. So, and that's the unfortunate thing about it, because a lot of women are still actively trying to get these ball players, trying to become baby mamas, trying to become wives. But what y'all don't know is y'all stepping on your own foots with this shit, because that's not a guarantee to financial freedom and liberty. You get the baby, you got forever ties to this man, because he could just be awful and treat you like Royce Reed over there.
Listen,
bless her heart.
He's mentioned in a moment, and I think the more women that are having babies with men they know they don't have that deeper relationships with in the league for the accolade or whatever, I think the more that happens, the more the courts are going to start to be a little more aware of it. Y'all better be cool with what you're doing, because once the court knows, that's it. That's it. So moving along. What the heck? The service is so bad here. My phone's tripping, but I got back to my note. We then see Evelyn. Where the hell? Vanessa. I am so sorry. We see Vanessa meet with her. I believe it was her sister. I didn't catch it, and I didn't feel like rewinding it because both of their hair stressed me out. You got one with bangs and some cone-shaped pigtails, and the other has a very tiny bun at the top of her hair. It's like a little thumb nub, and her witch bangs. I don't know. The family loves a good pair of bangs, and I will leave it there. But James, I'm sorry.
No, because not the witch bangs.
I don't know what to call them, but it reminds me of like
I, I, I don't understand
Hocus
why
Pocus.
it's so like thick. This is the thickest bangs I have ever seen in my
I want to
life.
know how your husband cheated on you so many times and God directed you to get them bangs.
Or did you have the bangs at the time that you met? Vanessa, I have so many questions.
Right.
Can anybody find younger pictures of her? Because I'm curious to see.
She's pretty. It's just her
Very
hair
pretty,
makes
but
her
it's just
look
her
a little
hair. I
crazy.
feel like I want her to chop them bangs off.
Hmm.
And then I want her to get like a nice slick, like almost. She can even have the Susie Trailer Park part, like right here, but just get like a nice flowy, like short. I think she would look good with a short haircut,
Oh
like
Lord,
not a
James.
bob, but like a you know how to white girl like Tori Kelly kind of style. I want to see her with like that.
Oh my God. Lord,
Y'all know if y'all don't know anything about me, I love me some Tori Kelly, y'all.
Lord help
Oh
us.
yes,
So she bitches to her sister, basically. This would be very quick, that she has concerns that Evelyn thinks she's being abused. And, you know, Vanessa does admit after talking to her sister, even her sister's like, come on, dude. So obviously this is a problem. She's in pain, but she wants to fight for your marriage. Fighting for your marriage, I've had situations where I've had to work at and go through things in my marriage. It shouldn't cause you like that much pain. I mean, it should be painful, but like to where it's like causing you to like look people up, got trackers everywhere, like be kind of putting what's on you onto other people. Like Vanessa needs to get a therapist instead of talking to the people she cares about. She obviously has friends, family, and whatnot of many years and people who want to support her, but your friends and your family, they mean well, but they're not trained in the way that someone in psychology, social work, mental health is trained. You'd be better off talking to a philosopher than your friends and family sometimes with
I
certain
agree.
things. Yeah.
I
So,
agree 100%.
yeah, we can love people to death. James tells me everything. I tell him most of everything, but we've both each individually had to like step away from life and people in general to focus on ourselves and our own mental health. People can love the shit out of you, but that won't fix you. It just
Yep.
won't. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave that there and pray for her healing and a haircut. Um, I'm trying to be good. I be thinking I'm saying stuff nicely, and then James makes these faces like,
Because y'all think
"What
because a lot. Let me explain something on Mrs. Best's channel. Because a lot of y'all think I'm the shady fool that be reading everybody for filth. No, it'd be Mrs. Best that be leading me to that. And the way she set up the scene, she picks up, and then I have to follow through and lead in. I got her, but see, that was funny because in the moment I was thinking that same thought. I want her to cut them damn bangs off. Like
said?"
I want her to like. I'm telling you, she would look good with a Tori Kelly hairstyle. Like I almost want to Google a hairstyle and send it to her. So like get when you go to the beautician, get the because she's giving like biker wife ish trailer, not living double wide ish kind of hairstyle. It's very ugly.
So we try to be better. Oh, shout out and thank you for watching to the Basketball Wives official fan club
Oh
on
yes.
Instagram. You guys followed me. I don't know how you found me, but thank you. I will continue
Mhm.
recapping this show. And we're going to shout them out and direct people to that page on Instagram so that they can enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely interested in supporting all creators, especially those who support me. So, and that is me and James. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the person who left a comment on James's Bell Collective recap, go check
Yes.
that out. I have playlists that will guide you to all of his recaps now. Watch them, please. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I like when other creators are supportive of each other. It makes you wish that your actual jobs were like this.
Exactly.
You
Yes. You better
know.
say that again. Say that louder for the people in the back.
Oh man,
Please.
'cause I'm telling you, with you, it's different because nobody wants to be at a job. But with the creators, people are choosing to do that, so that makes it good. Um, so then we see Jaceel, basically again giving her family appreciation. Speaking of Bell Collective, And some other shows that I've watched that are in Mississippi, James has watched. There's always a show coming out in Mississippi. Why? We have got to do something to like figure out that state. Now I know they got a racist cotton picking history, but we have got to do something because every show we watch, no matter the network, tell me I'm lying, James. Do you not hear somebody's mama, sister, auntie, or cousin working 3 jobs to support them and they still grew up hungry? That sucks. They really have no like infrastructure or economy outside of the
I
races.
agree. And the thing about it is, when you live in a place where systematic racism is still present in the time, I
Agree.
mean, systematic racism is present everywhere. It just looks differently in this day and time. But when you have an area or you live in an area that makes it absolutely hard for you to even just live a life of decency, it doesn't have to be the best, it doesn't have to be the worst, but at least let it be decent. If it's hard for you to do that, then that's your sign that you need to leave. A lot of people are afraid to leave their surroundings of where they came up and grew up. And I get it, it is scary. But you have to understand something, that life is not for you to live so that you can struggle. My goal is to retire my mom at an age where she is able to enjoy the rest of her life and the rest of her years. Not
Mm,
for her to have to work until she retires. And then after she retires, she is still struggling like the
mm,
same way she did when she had the job. That is
mm,
not the goal of anybody's life.
mhm.
So when you live in those places where they're systematically oppressing you, you need to do research to find out what states are better. Hell, they even have states that are willing to pay you to move there.
We have a lot of family. Shout out to my family in Biloxi, Jackson, New Orleans, Kenner, a
Yes.
bunch of other places. But a lot of my family originated in the South, and the kids, now that we're all adults, a lot of them have moved. Hell, even to California, to the Bay Area, just because they want better opportunities. I hear the Bay Area, Phoenix, Arizona is taking in a lot of people right now, like a lot. I think because everybody's tired of going to Texas, so now they going there's
You
only so
know,
much
a good
space.
place a lot of people overlook, and it's because of the history of the state. But when I tell you they pay a lot of money for you to relocate there, and their programs all over the place, is actually Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, the Bay Area, they have billboards out here right now, James. They're paying people from the Bay specifically to move there because I guess the tech
Yes,
industry is
there. It's the same thing for
building.
Florida too. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
It's the same thing for Florida as well. They don't have billboards, but there was like this thing when you re-enroll in your benefits, they actually have this like pamphlet that's going around saying, "Would you be willing to go live in Oklahoma?" You actually can ask your job for you to work from home and actually move there.
Let me tell you
Now,
about them Great
Oklahoma,
Plains. That shit gets washed up every year by the spinning spiral that is
yep,
tornadoes. I can't
yep.
do it. I had a friend who moved to Tulsa actually from here, and she called me in tears. I have no clue how she had reception, but she called me in tears because she said a tornado was coming through and all this other stuff. The call disconnected. She said it went over her house. She sent me pictures. She was like in a corner of the house, the only corner that stood. I'm like, girl, you meant to be here. Shout out to Yvonne. Anyhow, I can't. Makes me nervous, but he is right. I encourage people to look up Tulsa. Please stop moving to California and Florida. We don't want you. And I'm sure Texas don't either. So moving along, we did see Ev meet with LeVon.
Uh-oh, we're losing Mrs. Bash, y'all.
And did it cut off? I have no idea if it cut off. StreamYard is tripping.
So it didn't cut off. You were very staticky, and you were frozen for a little bit.
I'm so tired of streaming.
But
All
continue
right.
your point. We got you. Continue your
Anywho,
point.
basically, all of these Queen's Court relationships are a disaster. Nivea didn't seem to find heavy love. Evelyn found LeVon, and in my opinion, their relationship is a mess. And Tamar found the black acting white lawyer who has been publicly on the internet acting a fool. And I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. Everybody's a mess from that show. And that is where Evelyn met LeVon, for those who are unsure. He seems really calm, though. He seems really calm. And I don't know. I like him, but I'm just like, I don't think Ev fully want that man. But we do see that he's helping her with her business, and I guess they're still together, even though she's not wearing a ring, and she wants to double date with Jennifer. I'm like, what is this? The Ev and Jennifer rekindle like season? What are your thoughts on that scene with her and her man? I'm not going to say too much, but what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, because she said that they have not broken up, right? If that's what I was to understand.
They are together.
They are still together. They're just not engaged.
No, they are engaged. She's just not wearing her ring. No, from what we see on the screen, she said they're together, but they're moving very slow with their engagement. And that is why she is not wearing her ring.
I'm confused. I'm confused by this because to me, it seems like she knows what she has. She just doesn't want nobody else to have them. So she going to play with his feelings and yo-yo with his heart because she knows what she has. Because let me tell y'all, I know somebody who Googled the fuck out of that man and could not find one goddamn thing wrong with him.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
He just seems genuine through the TV
He does. He seems he seems like the gentle soul that she needs. But as I said, relationships tend to change people and maybe bring out the ugly too. That's why you have to be careful about who you're with. I know a lot of people tell me all the time, you can't use biology for everything. You a damn lie. Your body is naturally attracted to certain things in people, and you need to follow those things. I feel like, once again, I think that she knows what she has. She's got to make sure no one else has it. Now, this whole double date with Jennifer, it's like,
why do you need to double date with the
no,
child?
it's not why you need. It's like what's the purpose of what is this scene going to prove? We know that Jennifer, like I said, and y'all, I try not to disrespect my Black women because I do love them very much. They are very near and dear to my heart. But when I see stupidity, ignorance, foolishness, mayhem, fuckery, and just plain old ridiculousness, I have to call it out like I see it. I feel like Jennifer has lost her fucking mind. And the fact that Evelyn wants to double date with them even makes this even more idiotic than when we started this season. We were first introduced to this situation. That is my point. That is it. That I am done.
Well, I'm not going to go over the scene with them double dating because James commented on it, and I'm going to let him comment on it just because I pretty much feel the same way. But I am going to mention every scene for those. I know some people don't have cable, and the only way of watching or knowing what's happening is through recaps. So I will go over every scene, but we'll take turns to give it opinions because, listen, I'm all for rekindling friendships. I have a friend who, like, sometimes I go ghost on her. She's just pretty much learned to accept it. I've learned we don't travel too well together, things of that nature. But it's not like stuff happening where the friendship's actually fallen out. I stand by what I said with Evan Jen. I think this, once your friend tries to physically attack you or does physically attack you, that is not a sisterhood. That is not friendship. We're done. But, Jen's doesn't make good choices really outside of her income and hair. So we'll leave it there. Brittany and her bad wigs go on a date. They go ziplining with this young man. Strange first date, but fun, I guess. I have been ziplining. I enjoy ziplining quite a bit. But I don't know, it just seemed like she didn't like that boy. He said he was an entrepreneur. I said, child, you look 12. So I don't know. I won't say too much on that. James, if you want to comment on that, feel free to jump in. All right. So Jen and Ev, the next scene after we see Brittany on a date is Jen and Ev's double date. Not much happens on that date. We're not going to comment, but I'm just saying Ev seems uninterested in good men. She's clearly bored, but she's gonna, like James said, she don't want nobody else to have them because she knows she got a good man. She just does. So Jaceel and Jennifer meet up to discuss Jaceel's products. She makes hair products. She does hair. She has salons. She's trying to expand her business and stuff to LA. So she goes to a Black-owned salon. Shout out to the people, to the melanin, and tries to sell her stuff. And they take on her product. It's the first place she's gone. So congratulations to you and your success, Jaceel. There's been a lot of people who ain't Black making a lot of money on Black hair care. So shout out to those who are actually African American. I will be buying her product too, y'all, and I will let you know how it works. Other than that, Jen holding that fucking dog annoyed me. I hate people who get dogs that you have to hold. Like, I don't even have to hold my cat like that. I have a cat. We call him Mr. Oso Tender. He's very sweet. But like, why are you holding that dog? I just want to kick the dog. I know that sounds so bad, but like, does it bark? Does it do tricks? Like, does it fetch or anything? Like, I need to know. I'm a dog trainer, Jen. So it's like, not I'll kick the dog, but let me train it. I would never, just so everyone knows, I would never kick a dog. I love animals.
It's just Jennifer's obnoxious. And she's mad at the obnoxiousness, not the dog. That's what it is, y'all. She really is not. She loves all animals. She really does. But Jennifer is just obnoxious as hell. So it comes across it's like I said, the Black Paris Hilton.
She is the Black Paris Hilton. She really is.
She really is. Black Paris Hilton. My mom says that about her all the time. My mom said that is the Black Paris Hilton.
That's the best reference. People said that too. She just posted on the Shade Room. Shout out to the Shade Room on Instagram. Jennifer Williams got posted with her boy toy because they had their engagement party, and she looked good and everything. She looked great, but I was cracking up at the comments. I've always loved her level of bougie. She's almost like Paris Hilton. This is, I'm like, you know what? That's why it pays to be yourself. Don't come on TV trying to be more gangster or more hard than you are, like Clayanna. Jen has come on this show, has stated she don't fight, has shown she won't fight, and people respect that. Be who you are. People like that a lot more than you trying to be gangster, Clay. I'm just saying. So we then see all of the ladies. We did see all of the ladies, and this is actually the last scene of the show. There wasn't much in this episode, but we see them all come out for Evelyn's domestic violence event. The show put a, little disclaimer up and used a website. It seems like MTV VH1 has just a list of organizations that they work with. Do you know what I mean? For like causes of things, because I see the same list, like, used on multiple shows. But it's good she had the event. She has Helping Hands, which is a nonprofit organization in California. I have heard of them. I have actually volunteered with them, fun fact. But she is a part. She has Helping Hands there. They explain what they do, how they help women in the community. A lot of women who go through domestic violence have to escape through shelters because what happens with the law and restraining orders in all the states isn't always a viable option. So that's something. I actually lived in a domestic violence shelter my first year at Mount Eden. Fun fact, that was high school. So my mom experienced that. So they do a lot of good for the community. And this is your reminder to anyone who has a friend who's in a shelter for DV. Do not tell people where your friend is. Do not tell people they are in a shelter. They are meant to stay secret for a reason. We have to protect those women and children. We do. So I just wanted to say that. But Evelyn, you say you started this foundation after the situation with Ocho Cinco. Why are you just now like doing something on the show with it? That took so long. I'm glad she's doing something, but don't you feel it took a little long?
I don't want to put a timeline because she has talked about it. She has mentioned it. Some of it was superficial. I'm talking about OG in that reference, that it was superficial.
Very.
But I feel like for me, I cannot put a timeline on someone's inability to have a, kind of like a, what do we call this? Her foundation. Sorry, foundation.
She's had a foundation for years. I just feel we should have heard of it, or maybe I missed it. It could be that I missed it.
I maybe I missed it as well, but I just know that Karen Huger didn't start her foundation until after the fact that she was on Real Housewives of Potomac. And then you have other ladies who started foundations when they got this, the viewership to have access for people to either donate or become ambassadors for it. So maybe she got the, sponsorships and ambassading that she needed to talk about this more, because there's a lot of people don't understand, there's a lot of legal woes in starting a foundation, because a lot of the times when people start foundations, they want to go the nonprofit route, because when you go through the nonprofit route, that means you'll have government funding for your foundation, which can open up airways for people to have, the shelters, regular, clothing, food, things that people need in these foundations. So I think that that's probably why she didn't go and expose it until maybe it became either nonprofit or maybe she had a good sponsorship to make sure that even after the show, the foundation can continue to go. I think that that's why she did it. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Either way, it's a good thing what she's doing. My main thing on why I'm like, I want her to have brought this up sooner is because I feel like it could have been something that helped her, repair some of the negativity that we often got from her in previous seasons. But
Honestly, that to me is always going to stick with her, because she went on Iyanla Fix My Life and tried to go around that route, and it still ended up bringing her back to who we know her as versus who we felt like she always could be. And I think she had maybe one season after she was on Iyanla Fix My Life where we did see that she had, elevated her moment, but it didn't take long for her to get back to that. It just took Jackie Christie. But the thing about it is that, yeah, I do agree with you, but I feel like, once again, this kind of goes into what I'm saying about her being the face of it when we know her treatment of other women, like she just grabbed a woman's hair.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing that a lot of people are saying online. A lot of the audience is saying, like, right message, wrong deliverer, which I can definitely agree with. But we still want people to be doing things to help these people. At least she's doing that. She did speak of her experiences for the first time with a little bit more depth. Usually we just hear of the Ocho Cinco situation and people are like, okay, all right. But, she has gone through some things. She said she was chased through the Bronx, beaten, all types of stuff. So, good for her for trying to overcome that. Jennifer shared her experiences with, and that was, I know everyone's like, she just got a drink. Don't know. That was violent. I remember watching that, feeling so bad for her.
You have to understand something, y'all. When we're talking about domestic violence, we're not just talking about it being physical. We're talking about it being demeaning. We're talking about the things that were not shown on TV, because the fact that he was so comfortable to do that, though she threw her drink first, it does not matter. Physically, he is stronger and he is taller. He is bigger. He can do a lot more damage. And not to mention, he was neglectful. And he was also, in all terms, there was a lot of infidelity. I think one of the side chicks ended up coming on the show and exposing that he didn't even know he was married. So there's a form of not claiming. So Jennifer has gone through abusive behaviors in her marriage. We're not going to discredit that because we saw some of it.
I feel like a lot of people try to discredit her situation, and that's, pay attention to what he said, because abuse is mental, physical, and emotional sometimes. Yes. So just because you don't have one doesn't mean you're not going to.
That the others are not valid or just as important.
They are.
Just because they're not physically hitting you does not mean the mental is not as bad. Like, it is probably even worse because of where you can lead off to.
I just want people to understand that past traumas too do impact our current behaviors, but it's up to you to be mature and separate yourself from the rest of the fucked up people by trying to work through that. That's all you can do. So we pretty much hear of the ladies' experiences with domestic violence and things of that nature. Unfortunately, it is very common, and that is something that this group showed. Domestic violence does not discriminate based on your socioeconomic status, based on what color you are, how cute you are, whatever the hell. It doesn't discriminate. Everybody can deal with that at some point. I dealt with the shit in high school. I have somebody still bothering me actually from high school who was slightly abusive, and Mr. Best is tired of that man, but we pray. Anywho, Vanessa speaks of some things, and Brittany Renner shared some things, but I couldn't help but to like notice some things with Brittany. Brittany, the wigs are ridiculous. We're gonna do like we're on a song review and look at this. Welcome to the B3ST Entertainment page. This is where you can like email your music. As you see, I got some song submissions. But this is here. I sent this to myself. We're gonna look at it because what the hell is that? What is that? It's not combed. James, tell them what you told me in the text.
Can you comb that? You can't comb that.
You can comb a wig.
No, you can't, girl. Let me explain something. I told Mrs. Best that she looked like she got, if Party City had a clearance rack, that is exactly where she got that from. First of all, it is thick. That is not regular human hair. That is straw.
It looks like her head is literally like not.
And then she has a little piece sticking out in the back. So it looked like realistically what she did. This like she had it on the doorknob and had to go out, and so she just took it and shook it and just put it on her head.
I'll say this, Brittany, your mama white, okay? And you should have hair that's easier to comb than mine. Wear it. She's got a pretty face, very pretty girl. Why does she do this to herself with these doggone wigs? I can't.
Not her mama's white.
I can't. We saw the lady. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But when we used to
know, but I get what you say, but it's like when I look at that, you know what that reminded me of? It reminds me of Robin from Real Housewives of Potomac. Robin's hair is that brittle. So that's what I'm saying. This looks like a straw. Like it looks like that's material people use for a soft held broom. Like I'm just looking at that hair and I'm like, I know you did not look in the mirror as beautiful as you are and thought that wig was it.
But Brittany, what are you doing? I understand being comfortable on TV. We haven't seen this girl in nothing but Spanx, leggings, exercise wear, active wear. Fuck it. I'm gonna just say active wear. And she works out. She's got a great body and all that. But what the hell? Anywho, that is all we had in this episode. Notice no clayanna. I'm like, was that intentional? Or are these women really holding to they don't want to film with her? I'm curious to see what happens with that. But let's be respectful of these women in the comments and all of that. I just always remind people, though, nobody has ever gotten disrespectful in the comments. Well,
which good, because you shouldn't. This is all for entertainment purposes. This is not to be taken seriously. Like, we don't know these women don't know us. They expect, because they know with reality TV comes this game. Look, it is what it is. We're not going to play with y'all. But at the same time, you guys are here to be entertained. We're here to get the entertainment. That's it. Yes. That's all. That's it.
And we are a new platform. So we hope that you subscribe. Give us a chance. If you don't like what we're doing, unsubscribe. You could do a trial. Subscriptions are free. So I hope that everybody does continue to tune in. We will be now ending this recap and review. We're going to go over Basketball Wives Orlando next. So there will be a notification on the live if you subscribe to me. If not, just wait on the channel. You'll see me go live. James will be there with us. Thank you for watching, and I hope everybody has the best night. Adios.
Thank you. Bye-bye.